So this is a lesson that will teach you how to make an animation for your cell project. It's a starter project, so you can build off of it if you like. Or you can make up your own entirely by yourself. What I have here are three different pictures that I got off the internet. One is this red blood cell. I'm going to click on that right now. And if we look at its costume, there it is. And I had to clean it up a little because there was some white around it that didn't look so good on the screen. And here you see some tools for making changes to your images. And just so you know, anytime you want to bring in something that you got from the internet, I took screenshots of these different images off the internet, and then I went to, well, this is, you can go to the costume, but what I did was I went to this choose a sprite, upload a sprite, and then I chose whatever I had here. Let's see, I think that was a screenshot of the blood cell. Ah, there we go. And you see it had to be cleaned up a little bit. So I took that, I cleaned it up so that it looks like that. Okay? So that's how you bring in the pictures and into these beings called sprites. That's what I did with the oxygen as well. Didn't look so good. It was kind of all gray and wasn't showing up well, so I just took my paintbrush and did a bunch of dots in blue for the oxygen. And of course you can create all of these yourself. You don't have to rely on pictures from the internet. And so if I went here and say I wanted to make one myself, I could go here to paint and totally create it, whatever I wanted to here. Okay. Now these sprites, I'm going to get rid of that and get rid of that one. So we have two sprites here. We have the blood cell and we have the oxygen cells. And then you'll notice this image here of the body in the background, and that's on my stage here. I click that, and how I got that was I went down here, choose a backdrop, I went to upload a backdrop, and again I got something off the internet. And then it created that, and when I click on that now, and I go to this, there's three tabs, code, backdrops, sounds. When I go to this backdrop section, it was in here and I made it larger. If you click on it, you can move it around. Oops, oh, I am in Paint. Command Z will get me back to where I want to be. Let's see, yeah. So if I click on this, I can move this around. I can rotate it, I can make it larger, smaller, whatever I want to do. And then I'm going to do the undos here, get it back to how it was. And those are my three images, that's it. So that's how you bring images in and modify them. Next, we're going to look at the code for these. So for this, anytime you click on one of the sprites, you'll see it kind of key up on the screen here, and you'll see the sprite here, and you'll see its code. And you can always go to its costumes and sounds. You can also create sounds here and choose sounds that are already there. Lots of fun. Okay, so here's the costume. Now let's go to the code. All right, what do we want this to do? Well, This is the code that I created for the red blood cell. This tells the red blood cell what to do. When I click this flag, it will start the animation. I'm just going to go to full screen here so you can see the whole thing. And first the blood cell will do its thing. And so click. Now it's whirling and twirling and traveling. This is where I start the healing process by, notice how I use that little drop to get your attention. So click on the oxygen cells, okay? Click on those. And a little bubble comes up, and I'm going to leave the animation to you. So let's go back and see how this code works. So for those of you who have coded before in Scratch, this is very familiar. And for those of you who are newer, it's not too bad to try to figure out what all this does and to add on to it. So this is kind of like a starter for you. But I'm going to explain the code. So the first thing is, notice the color coordination here. Purple, that's looks. Okay, that's how things look, and also the things that are said. Orange is for control. So you have your wait, and you have repeat this a bunch of times. That's all we're going to use are waits and repeats in this section. And for the looks, we're only going to use the say hello and the set color and the change color. Okay, which are all these effects. You can change it to fisheye, whirl, pixelate, and so on. Okay, and so we'll get to the others as we go along. First thing I wanted to do was to give it a sense of some animation by adding an effect. So, first thing is, we're only going to use this when green flag clicked, which is how you start your animations. And then the other one we'll use is when this sprite is clicked, which we used for the oxygen. Okay? So that's where I got that. So what I did was, when the green flags clicked, I said, let's wait 5 seconds. And during that 5 seconds is when it goes to its starting position. And I recorded myself saying a little hello thing. And then I had this text come up for about 5 seconds. So that's why I wait here for 5 seconds. So these both go at the same time, and this waits, and then it starts this whirl effect. Okay, and the whirl effect was it was kind of twirling around that you saw, and basically all those are looks again. So I just went to my change color or set color, and 0 means that there's no effect, so it's its normal self. And I always set it to that first. And then I brought in my repeat block. And I repeated 70 times, change the whirl by 10. And remember, you can choose other things to do here. And then I did it, repeat 70 times, but this time the whirl by negative effect. So it gets back to where it was before. Okay, so that's the whirl. And I'll just show you that real quick here. Click. And you'll see it waits 5 seconds. And now it starts its little whirling that way, and it untwirls. Okay. So that's just for the whirling part. Now we're going to look at how we get this to move. We want this to start up here, near the heart, and work its way down to where the wound is. So the first thing I do is I go to the go to blocks. These blue blocks are for movement, and we are only going to use the glide here, and that's glide for 1 second, and you go to an XY position on this grid. This grid is, there's an X, Y, and you have your positive Y, your positive X area, negative Y, and negative X area. So the middle would be 0, 0. Okay? So anyway, what you do is, I'm going to only use this go to block and this glide block here. And you're going to move where you want to start. You move your object there, and that actually changes the numbers here and here to that position. So all I have to do now is say, go to this spot, because that's where I want it to start, right? When I click that green flag, just go to that position. Next, we're going to ignore the start sound and all of that. I'm going to show you how to make it glide. So I'm going to move it. And I move it there, and I'm going to take this glide here, and that's the position I just moved it to. And I can glide 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that was the glide. I might slow it down, I don't know, whatever. Then you do the same thing. You move it to the next position. And that changes the numbers on this glide here, so we'll bring that in, so on and so forth, until you get it to where you want it to go. Okay, let's see how that looks, just those couple positions. Okay? And that's what I did right here. Those 1, 2, 3, 4 glides there. And there's my go-to. Now, I wanted it to be a little more interesting, so I added a sound of me, recorded myself saying, hello, I'm a red blood cell. And again, since I'm in my sprite here, I can go to these sounds, and my sprite has these sounds I can use. And all I did was, you can definitely find others. There's a whole bunch of sounds they have. You can just choose one. You can also record yourself. So I clicked record. QuickTime is going, so it won't really record, but you just record this, get it the way you want it, choose it, and you're set to go. And then you can just click on it, and I'm not sure if you could hear that, but it said, hello, I'm a red blood cell. Okay, back to the code part. So notice that, let's get this out of the way here. I'm just going to go whoop, and that disappears. Put this up here. So start sound, it's a purpley thing. Go here, and it will say start sound in one of the sounds. So I just drag that there. And you can choose, right now I have water drop, fairy dust. I could record another sound. And then I wanted it to say hello with this text. Notice that it's kind of a light purple. So that's looks. And this is where we get our say hello for so many seconds. So this will keep up whatever I say, that for 5 seconds so the reader can read it, then it will disappear. Okay, so that's what I did. Oops, don't want to get rid of that one. I want to get rid of this one. Okay. And then I added some more text down here and another water drop down here. And so that is the start of your animation. If you want to use that for now. And I'm just going to show you one more thing. In this oxygen sprite, instead of the one clicked, I did do the one green flag clicked and the go to for making it go there at the beginning. But this time, for its event, I went to when the sprite clicked, and then I dragged a say oxygen blah 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 for 5 seconds. This way, I click this, that all goes blah blah blah, and it'll actually work if I click it even right now. I click it, and it says that, and then it goes to, I mean, that's all it does, so you would go to the next things for that. Okay? So that's a start for you. Good luck, and remember there are tutorials here that you can check out. They're very short, and they will teach you anything that you need to remember or learn, and good luck with everything.